Hi everybody, it's Luna Bell. Y'all, I am learning more about my own gifts and everything. Y'all, I am a psychic medium. Y'all, this is all for entertainment for TikTok 18 plus trigger warning. I am writing a fictional book about my life and my life experiences, especially in Enterprise, Alabama, to especially dealing with corruption. And I'm dedicating this to Genesis. Y'all, Enterprise, y'all ain't forgetting about Genesis. And y'all ain't forgetting about me. 18 plus trigger warning. I speak of things of a sensitive nature. Y'all, of course, again, this is for entertainment and I'm writing a fictional book. Now, y'all, what I want to speak to you about is psychic abilities. Now, y'all, I have, there was a lot of trauma in my life. I have been SA'd, and that's a nice way of putting it, and trafficked by my mother from the day I was born. Anyhow, y'all, I was not the only one. All of her children were. They weren't the only ones. Anyhow, y'all, the trauma, and this is what I want to speak to you about. There is, and this is coming, I'm quoting an article from the internet, y'all, okay? The phenomenon of psychic gifts emanating from trauma. And this is by Ellen Diamond. And then I'm also referring to our psychic abilities and what they are, some of them anyhow, y'all. A list of them. We have telepathy. I am a telepath. Clairvoyant. I am clairvoyant. Clairaudient, I am clairaudient, claircognizant, precog, I do see future events as well, astro projection, I do the psychometry as well, the aura, the energy healing, the animal communication, telepathy. I do have telekinesis abilities. I'm learning more about that. I don't practice very often. I need to. I could count on both hands how many times I've practiced my telekinesis. But y'all, they mention electrokinesis as well. Y'all, if you ever see me or you're around me, I do generate a lot of energy is what some people say. And sometimes, especially if there are a lot of emotions involved, you will or see or experience electoral problems, issues. Anyhow, y'all, and I want to also mention others like the taste and smell. There is a local surgeon, and I used to work with him and one of my charge nurses on 2 North. And I remember she had an infection on her arm, on her hand, and the doctor had been treating it. The surgeon had, I could smell it. But it's what I didn't realize at the time. A lot of people can smell things like that. But what I didn't realize at the time was that it's an actual psychic gift. Sometimes, y'all, there's some shit you don't want to smell, like them deal motherfuckers. Anyhow, let's get back to the trauma-induced abilities. Now, I know there are many alleged reports of testing. Y'all, I have memories, I remember names, and I remember places, including my mama, allegedly. Now, I also mentioned other people, like I will mention one of the things of like stalkers and gang stalkers. And one of the techniques that they're using now, y'all, allegedly, and I'm referring to Dr. Jess. I can't remember her last name. I'll have to look it up again. It is Dr. Jess, and she recently published a book about the research and the studies she did regarding the techniques of new stalkers and what they're doing, especially with electronics. One of their main tactics is Darvo. And y'all, I do have some local ones, a woman and a man. Anyhow, y'all, allegedly. The smear campaigns. But what I also want to mention is the abuse within families. One of the things I experienced by my stepmother-in-law, and I remember this because my daughter was 15, my oldest daughter was 15. This is when Nutter Butter, my best friend's supposedly daughter, was decorating. I paid her allegedly $900 to decorate for my daughter's birthday. And my stepmother-in-law said that we could use her yard. Anyhow, I remember that because my daughter and I had to profusely apologize at Christmas for something that previous to my daughter's birthday. My late husband had made us go. Didn't give me a choice. And I made my oldest daughter go. At that time, I couldn't even, the abuse, allegedly, from my stepmother-in-law and her family, my father-in-law, my husband, my sister, not a better, and all the others. When people refer to the fracturing of the mind, where the individual is trying to orient what road to travel, what reality, what person to please, which abuser allegedly to appease. And at that time, it was my stepmother-in-law. I remember that. I could not remember my own traditions from my family holidays that I had been celebrating for over 15 years with my husband and my children. I couldn't remember because of the abuse, allegedly, from my stepmother-in-law and her family, my father-in-law and my husband, allegedly. Now, I say this because smear campaigns is a huge part of DARVO. Now, one of the other reasons I mentioned this also, I'm sorry y'all, I know I started out with psychic gifts, is because everything I went through since my husband passed 4 years ago has done nothing but amplify my gifts and has put a target on my back and alleged, and I put this in quotation, witch hunt of trying to smear my name. When my father-in-law passed, it was my oldest daughter who had called me days later to let me know that my father-in-law had passed. I was also told at the same time that I was not allowed to go to his services or to the reading of his will, allegedly. I was not welcome, and I would be escorted out if necessary. It was strongly discouraged. I would be escorted out, allegedly. My stepmother-in-law's orders. Now why would that be, Mommy dearest? Anyhow, the alleged abuse that I've endured since has done nothing but amplify my gifts. But it also takes a huge payroll, don't it, Mommy dearest? I've used those gifts to help bring truth and clarity and hopefully justice to my own case. And I'll keep using my gifts and the abilities that you, Mommy dearest, enhanced even more to stop even more people like you attempting to hurt individuals through Gnosis, through trauma, experienced through DARVO techniques. May it be blessed, Mommy dearest. Bon appetit.